Hello and welcome to the Trail and Adventure Motorbike Podcast with me, Clive Barber, and my good mate, Noel Tom. For the days when you can't ride your bike, there's always the Trail and Adventure Motorbike Podcast. Welcome to a cheeky bonus episode. Thought it'd be really good to catch up with two of our favourite Sidecar fans, Matt and Reese, the Sidecar guys, and talk to them about their Armchair Festival down in Cornwall. Let's just do it. Guys, did you know that there is a couch festival as well as an armchair festival?
Is there?
Yeah, it's held in August in Holland.
You're kidding.
No, it's true. I'm worried people might confuse the two because it's a hardcore techno festival.
That's why we've been getting so many techno lovers at the festival recently, and they've been bitterly disappointed. I'd actually rather see one of our usual festival goers at the techno festival instead. That would be really funny. See someone, from the Overland crowd, maybe in a leather hat, just arrive at a techno event and just see people chewing their faces off. I didn't know about Couch Fest, mate. I'll check that out. Maybe I'll give it a spin next year.
Well, I think we should all go just to celebrate the end of the festival season. If you haven't guessed already, I'm delighted to welcome back to the podcast Matt and Reese, the Sidecar guys. We last spoke over a year ago, March 23. We released your episode where we talked about your adventure and everything else. But I thought it would be good to catch up now and talk about the impending Armchair Festival, which I don't know a great deal about, to be honest. And I suspect because it's not a full-on motorcycle or sidecar event, it'll be something that our listeners might not know a great deal about, but would actually love. Everybody I've ever spoken to about the Armchair Festival is just absolutely full of how great it is. Great location, lots to do there, and what a truly all-round lovely weekend it is.
Well, we'll tell you about it, shall we, mate? It's a full-on celebration of adventure travel is what it's turned into. It was originally a COVID thing, hence the armchair. So it was a lockdown project. We thought it would just be a Zoom link with a few mates, and it turned into 40,000 people watching on YouTube live. Me and Reese were scared to death because we'd never interviewed anyone, and all of a sudden we were interviewing all these icons of adventure travel in front of all these people. And it blew up online. It was massive on the like main sort of original virtual thing. We just decided to carry on doing it, really, and we did a couple more virtual ones. And then when the world let us come out again, we thought we'd do an in-person one because really we liked the virtual thing because it was lockdown, but really we're not really massive Zoom people. We do like fields and beers together and stuff. So we thought we'd organise an in-person festival, and now it's in Cornwall. It's last weekend of July. It's on the Rain Peninsula. So we're on the end of a peninsula. So we've got the Tamar Estuary at one side, we've got the ocean on the other, and we use both for like activities like kayaking, paddleboarding, that kind of stuff. And then we have a bunch of other activities like mountain biking and all that kind of stuff. And then we have loads of talks. So the main thing is the talks from all kinds of different adventurers. So people have walked up Everest, people have cycled around the world, scooted and sidecarred around the world, all kinds of stuff. Loads of bikers, but loads of other people too. It's just a big old celebration of all things adventure now.
The location it's near Tor Point, isn't it? Which is near Plymouth on the south Cornwall coast, which is, for me, it's a really long way away. But why not make a holiday out of it to either go to the festival and that kind of finishes or starts your holiday in Cornwall, right?
We've kind of thought about that. We do like an extra couple of days add-ons. People can sort of stay pretty much for the best part of a week, really, to make it worth the trip. But I guess it is an adventure travel festival, so it's one of them whereby people have got to be prepared to travel in a sense. The actual venue itself, the reason we know it or knew it is because we did some survival training there before we did our big scooter and sidecar trip. We knew it was like a magical spot, really. And then so when we decided to bring the armchair as like an in-person event, there wasn't really a question about where should we do it. It was like, we've got to do it there because it will just make the event completely unique. It's a long way for some people, including us, considering we now live in Newcastle. It's worth the journey for the views alone, I think. Yeah, and the beer garden.
Because you're actually overlooking an estuary or a bay or a body of salty water, right?
Yeah, we overlook the estuary. So the main stage is like at the back of the estuary's behind it. Sun drops over that estuary as well because of the way it's all positioned on the peninsula, and it is just absolutely corking spot to go. Yeah, so it's really nice, and yeah, like Reece said, it's 9 hour drive for us. So if anyone says it's too far to go, we always sort of say we have to take the whole festival 9 hours across the country. So no complaining.
Speaking of long drives, in fact, the last time I saw you, Matt, was when you were helping to set up with the Lightweight Adventure Festival last summer. You drove. I was really, really impressed by this. You drove all the way from Newcastle to the Peak District, lent them your stretch tent, and then drove all the way back again, and no money changed hands at any point. This is the kind of people you're dealing with. That was a really kind thing to do.
Yeah, we definitely wanted to help the guys out, and they help us out with stuff as well. So it's just all works. That kind of, a couple of weeks later, Mark and Jamie came to our event and lent us their stretch tents to go outside our pub. So it's all helping each other out. We've got to, haven't we, these small little events and stuff, because otherwise it doesn't work. They're so expensive to put on. Like hiring that kind of stuff costs a fortune. So it's nice to help each other out.
What are some of the highlights of the festival for you then? Who are you most looking forward to seeing and talking to?
John Blashford-Snell's talking this year, and he spoke last year. Watching him talk is like David Attenborough talking at your event or something. He's like proper old school British explorer back when like there wasn't maps and stuff. He is quite an elderly gentleman sort of thing now. He's like, I don't know how old he actually is, but pretty old.
At last year's festival, he's 85. And he literally got back from Mongolia 3 days earlier on an expedition.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And the talk he did last year was about when they accidentally invented whitewater rafting. Like they were the first people to do it. Trying to like explore a river in Africa. Not all great in the way they do it as well. Like, let's go and find out what's here, chaps. We'll be the first people to ever go, sort of thing. And like it was of its time. But listening to him talk about it is just very, very cool. And it's a throwback to a world where you just don't see really anymore. He was talking about how he had to go and get permission to explore these areas from like the local president and stuff, and he took him a chihuahua so he could exchange this chihuahua that he could give to the president, which would then mean he'd get to explore the lands and things. Like it was just a mad story. Is much more interesting than two guys on a scooter and sidecar mooching around in modern day life. It was like proper old school. He's back this year and he's talking about how they tried to drive through the Darien Gap in Land Rovers in the 70s. That would be a fun one.
I've never told my story about how I invented mountain biking.
Go on, mate. Do share.
Which is totally true. Me and my mate Ian Hainsey used to borrow our mum's shopping bikes, old rally things with baskets front and rear. And we discovered they were really good for riding up and down hills on at Paulsland football pitches, and there's little wooded areas. So yeah, I invented mountain biking, and anybody that says anything else is lying. Any other highlights?
We try and make it sort of like as much going on as possible. So I think like we obviously have like speakers going on throughout the whole time, but some of the like activities we sort of throw in are really quite cool. We do a sort of standard stuff like kayaking, paddleboarding, but then we do some quite different things like survival workshops and stuff. A couple of years ago, we had a guy called Guy Marrett come and deliver a talk, and he's been in the Falklands clearing landmines. So this year there's going to be like a landmine setup workshop where people can be sort of like clearing landmines and stuff like that. Not literal ones, they won't explode, which is good. We try and mix it up and keep it interactive. So there's like options of things for people to do, and then also if they want to just chill out, they can. Aside from that, I mean, the pub, the Tamar Estuary surrounding it is like, I don't know, we often refer to it as the best beer garden in the world.
It is world class, yeah. But also, mate, I am just listing everything that happens at the event here, but I should say as well, the music is way too good for a festival of its size. In our first year, we thought it might be the only event we ever do, so we said, let's just throw an awesome party and just see what happens. And we've made a rod for our own back. Like, we have to book these really expensive, good bands now. It is really good music. It's not like your local pub band. It's properly good. It's a blast.
Looking at activities you can do, sailing, mountain biking, kayaking, kind of fairly normal stuff, but there's also tree climbing, expedition planning, bread making, fire lighting. Where are you finding all these amazing people to come and do these things and do these talks.
It's just Reese in a different hat. He's a talented guy.
The good thing about running an adventure travel festival is that, I mean, certainly when we started, well, we still do, but it did loads and loads of research. But now with it sort of getting a bit of a name for itself, what is really cool is that a lot of people reach out to us and sort of say, like, would you be interested in this or that sort of stuff? Obviously, we always look to get new speakers and new activities and that sort of stuff. But also a lot of the stuff, people just throw it in the ring, and if it works, we're always sort of keen to sort of build on it and get more things involved with the festival, really.
And you're also giving money to charity and planting trees and stuff. Is Reese doing all the tree planting as well?
So we plant a tree for every ticket sold. Reese does that. Because they're all in his garden as well. It's just how Reese betters his garden. And then the charity partnership stuff, actually, last year and this year, we haven't had a dedicated charity partner because instead we've launched our own adventure travel grant in memory of David Martin, which everyone's been fundraising for instead. We did a couple of years raising money for charity. I think we raised about 15 grand for charity in the first few years. And then now we've switched over to this adventure travel grant. A friend we met through the Overland event, and lots of people will know of Dave in biking in general because he was so influential with his story. He basically had a terminal diagnosis with bowel cancer and spent his last years fighting it whilst getting out and doing stuff, which is his motto: get out, do stuff, # get out, do stuff. He finally lost his battle with cancer after about 5 years. Now, after he passed, we connected with his family and said, should we set up a grant in his name to get more people out doing stuff? So we all raised money for that at the festival. The response is amazing. We've raised, I think, definitely more than £10,000 now, and to fund other people's adventures. And you don't have to be fighting something like cancer or have any problem, or you don't even have to be under financial stress to get funding. It's all just about a way of getting people out and doing stuff. So this year we do a funding circle where after the event we'll release the grants for next year, and then around January time we'll award the grants. So this year we funded about, what have we done, Reece? About £5,000 worth of funding we've distributed this year, and 2.5 it went to the main one, which was to Claire, who's going to be cycling to Athens, and she's doing it on a budget of something crazy like £12 a week or something to raise awareness of how much refugees get in the UK or something like that. And then we've got all sorts. Jackie right now is hiking the Camino. She recovered from cancer and has been given awards to go and do that. It's just like lots of different people getting different funding. So we're really, really proud of that. I think it's a really cool thing. Gets people out doing adventure travel. It's what it's all about. And hopefully we're going to keep raising money for it.
I applied last year, but I think the problem was I didn't do it through the official channels. I think I just dropped you a message on Instagram. To be honest, I'm not sure I would have needed £1,000 grant just for a weekend in the Lake District.
I do remember now, actually. Yeah, no, you wouldn't get it, Clive. There is a board, and as much as, we do like you.
To a degree, it depends what you do in the Lake District. I mean, you can definitely have an adventure in the Lake District. So all I'm saying, Clive, is get your application in next year. We'll see.
Some lovely cake shops. Looks like the sidecar experiences are going really well. You've taken on another type of sidecar by the look of things, and I'm seeing lots of activity on the social medias with lots of people having fun in sidecars. How's that all going?
Yeah, really good. This is our third season, if you like, of doing it. It's a third year. The rider experiences are going really, really well. We now work with two brands. We work with Ural and we also work with Watsonian. Whereas Ural build like motorcycles for cycles, they come together. Watsonian are more like, to a degree, you can put it on any bike sort of thing. They tailor the sidecar to the bike sort of thing. It's going really well. The rider experiences are just super busy this year. It's been our busiest season yet. And then we also started doing passenger ones, which kind of came off the back of, we were featured in Robson Green's TV program last year. And so that and the whole thing is sort of, really just kicked us on, really. And now we've just launched like a bit of a crowdfunder, which I don't know if you have or haven't seen, or if I've taken away one of your questions there. But yeah, so we want to kind of take it to the next level and create what we're referring to as Sidecar Paradise in the northeast of the UK. But it's not really Sidecar Paradise. We want to kind of make a hub for like adventure motorcyclists in the northeast, or motorcyclists in general, community hub, as we don't really think there is one right now. And so we're going to create a destination that people can come to, whether they're in the northeast or whether they're passing through the northeast on bikes, that sort of stuff. And to get the money for it, we were wondering how we could do that. And, it's really hard to achieve crowdfunders and that sort of stuff. So we thought we'd gamble on it, and we put a Ural on the line, one of our own Urals, worth over £25,000, which genuinely means that if only one person buys one ticket and no one else, we'll just give it away anyway and think that was a bad idea. So yeah, it's exciting, but also very nerve-wracking, isn't it?
What do people have to do? Do they have to commit a certain amount of money to be in the prize draw type thing?
It's tenner an entry, and you can buy £25,000 worth you want online. sidecarexperience.co.uk/win. You will get entered into the draw. You get entered into the draw for the whole crowdfunder, which gets drawn at the end of the year, and you also get entered into the prize draw for the month that you entered. So to keep it interesting, there's a cool prize every month. If you entered this month, you could win a trail riding experience at Motor Junkies, which is Steph Jevons' place in Wales. And that's a 2-day experience like over there. And you also get a Moscow Moto backcountry duffel bag, which is worth like a few hundred quid as well. I think this month's prize is worth like £800. You've got a good chance of winning that. And then the Ural, that's a whole year of entries, so less chance of winning that. But you will fund Sidecar Paradise. So.
I've got an idea for a prize.
Mm-hmm.
To be on the Trail and Adventure Motorbike podcast.
Yeah, that could be good, mate. Yeah.
That's fucking priceless, isn't it? You can't put a price on that.
Well, we'll take you up on it, Clive.
All right.
Yeah, stick it in. That'll be fun. The offer's there. How do we find out more information about the Sidecar experiences and how do we buy tickets for the festival?
So Sidecar Experiences, just basically head to the website, sidecarexperience.co.uk. You can find out about all the experiences there and the crowdfunder. Or for tickets for the festival, armchairadventurefestival.com. Last time I checked, there was about 85% of tickets sold for this year. Getting pretty tight. So if people are keen to come, and they won't regret if they do, get those tickets pretty sharpish.
How many people are at the festival? I didn't ask. What's your max?
15 or 20.
And we've sold 12 or 13 tickets, so it's going to be good. There are probably about 1,000 people there this year.
That's a nice size as well. Bloody love those guys. Fantastic stuff from them, as always. And the festival sounds amazing. If I can get a pass out, I'm certainly going to be down there. Right, probably won't see you next week. We're recording next week and the week after, but probably not going to get a new episode out on Monday. Oh, fuck off. Leave me alone. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate your support. Don't forget you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And if you really appreciate what we do, you could consider supporting us on Patreon or buy us a coffee. Links are available on our website, which is tampodcast.com, tampodcast.com, where we also have a limited selection of branded stuff. But either way, please keep listening and spreading the word. See you next time.